The easy but unfortunate headline that I'm sure we all could have predicted before for this video is that the chairman and CEO of the parent company of CNN, which is Warner Bros. Discovery, is ecstatic that Donald Trump won the election, saying that now there will be a great atmosphere for mergers and acquisitions that he wasn't able to do before under the Biden administration. He's elated. His name is David Zaslav. I'll get into that. But there's a deeper story that needs to be told under the surface about what's going on here. First and foremost, it's that there isn't a liberal media bias anymore, period, full stop, right? All of the major media companies right now are corporate media companies owned by oligarchs, owned by billionaires. The Zaslavs of the world, the Murdochs of the world, the Jeff Bezoses of the world, Comcast, which owns NBC. These are corporations that have corporate interests at heart. They're not telling liberal or progressive stories, yet it's often framed that way. Well, there's a liberal media bias. No, there isn't. There is a clear right-wing MAGA media bias. We dig deeper, though, into this story, and I'll share what Zaslav is saying right now about how happy he is that Donald Trump was elected. But the broader story I want to talk about is Zaslav's merger, where Zaslav was the CEO and chairman of Discovery Entertainment, with Warner Brothers, that created the company that ended up owning CNN. That occurred when Biden was in office. That big merger took control of CNN, this new corporate mega entity that was formed, actually took place when Biden was in office, when there was a record high stock market, right? When Biden was in office, the market was up 50, 60% from where it was when Donald Trump left office. GDP growth was high, and America's economy was the envy of the world. So let's dig deeper, though, and also see what's going on. And I think, let me give you, I won't bury the lead here, right? The issue is that CNN, MSNBC, all these media entities are failing. So despite the mergers that occurred when Biden was in office, they're doing really bad. Their shareholders are pissed. So a lot of these CEOs as well are trying to scapegoat the Biden administration and blame it on a hostile environment to mergers and acquisitions. All we have to do is acquire new entities and engage in all of these mergers, and then we'll get out of this. But Biden's not letting us do it. Wait a minute. The merger between Warner Media and Discovery, it took place on April 2022. That occurred. So are they scapegoating for their failure to attract viewers because they're not actually speaking to their viewers in the way that the viewers want to be spoken to? They're not giving viewers the facts and the truth. And is that what's really going on here? That there's a card game, if you will, being played here, where one merger doesn't work, blame the Biden administration, and then try to say, we need more mergers. Now it's a great environment. That's why we weren't doing good. So let's just take a look at data points now, shall we? And I'll make the full case for you, and you can judge for yourself. You remember this image that I shared with you? This was David Zaslav, and here he was in Sun Valley, Idaho, at this Allen and Company mega convention where all the rich oligarchs and the billionaires would go to in Sun Valley. They'd stay at these lavish 5-star hotels, and they'd eat their caviar and have their $10,000 glasses of wine. That's what they were doing. But they would meet these oligarchs and they would plan these things, and they would figure out, okay, what can we do to consolidate media? What can we do as management to try to, frankly, screw over workers? And how do we put more money into our pockets, the oligarchs' pockets? You may remember this, but back at that time, I was sharing with you what David Zaslav was telling the media. This was several months back. And he was asked about the upcoming presidential election. And Zaslav, who owns Warner Brothers Discovery, which owns CNN, said the following. He says, "It mattered less to him which party wins, as long as the next president was friendly to business. We just need an opportunity for deregulation so companies can consolidate and do what we need to do to be even better," right? It makes it seem like they're not able to merge right now. We need someone who's friendlier to us. So here's what Zaslav just said on November 8th, 2024. After Trump win, Hollywood prepares for mega mergers and volatility. A palpable buzz has taken hold of the corporate boardroom that another 4 years of Republican leadership will free up deal making. It says on November 7th, the day after Trump's election victory, Warner Bros. Discovery chief David Zaslav delivered a not so subtle message to Wall Street. It's open season on deal making, and Hollywood is better off for it. Discussing the narrowing field of players in a media and entertainment environment that's in a generational disruption, the CEO said that the upcoming administration may, quote, offer a pace of change and an opportunity for consolidation that may be quite different and provide a real positive and accelerated impact on the industry that's needed. In other words, he's celebrating Donald Trump being in office, But like I did another video on this about how like the Teamsters union leader, Sean O'Brien, spoke at the Republican National Convention, wouldn't endorse Biden and Harris, said things that were very supportive of Donald Trump. And I was like, okay, Donald Trump doesn't support the PRO Act. Donald Trump doesn't support the right of employees to collectively bargain. Donald Trump appoints people to the National Labor Relations Board that guts the board, which means that workers who have grievances get screwed. Donald Trump laughs in the face of workers who go on strike and invoke their collectively bargained for rights. He did that with Elon Musk. These unions talk about, we formed another chapter, another local at Amazon and Starbucks and this and that. And then I was saying to myself, okay, well, Donald Trump believes that none of that should be able to happen. The very existence of your union is going to be destroyed. So why am I bringing up unions? Because, it's the same thing with the media. You're looking up the types of things that Donald Trump's been saying, whether Donald Trump sued CBS for $10 billion. Last week, right? That's what he was doing the last week of the election, $10 billion lawsuit. And then Donald Trump's made statements that CBS, NBC, ABC should all lose their licenses because they were writing negatively about him, and therefore they deserve to have their licenses revoked. So as I reflect on it, you think to yourself, someone like a David Zaslav, Donald Trump's statements that he made over and over again in the campaign is that the media, what you do, Zaslav, is the enemy of the people. If you believe Donald Trump's words, Zaslav and his companies are the enemy of the people that are going to be shut down and targeted. The people who Donald Trump are saying he wants to put into the administration are the type of people who have been saying that they're going to go after the media, they're going to go after companies. But here's the thing. Zaslav believes, in my opinion, that he's an oligarch, that he's untouchable from this, and that by playing nice, it's not going to happen to him. It'll just happen to the other people who aren't going to be the pro-MAGA oligarchs. And so some of them become pro-MAGA oligarchs. But Donald Trump's statements over and over again are attack the media. So you're like, this is a good thing for your consolidation when Donald Trump's saying he's going to literally go after you. So then I just, I wanted to see, I'm like, okay, so there must have been a very hostile environment to Zaslav and CNN that he would say that he really is struggling right now. Well, take a look. Warner Brothers Discovery, which is the company that Zaslav now is the CEO of, which owns CNN, was formed, guess when? In 2022, while Biden was in office, when Warner Media merged with Discovery after being spun off from AT&T. The merger was approved by a Brazilian antitrust regulator on February 7, 2022, and the United States Department of Justice On February 9th, 2022, Discovery shareholders approved the merger on March 11th, 2022, and it began trading in NASDAQ under a new name on April 11th, 2022, under the ticker symbol WBD. The streaming launch of Max in 2023, which offered content from Warner Brothers Discovery Channel, HBO, CNN, Cartoon Network, and Animal Planet, launches in 2023. Okay, but you're like, well, so what's happening, Ben? Well, this. However, some say the merger was a bust, with the company writing down $9 billion and overpaying for its TV network. The company's stock price has fallen roughly 50% since the deal closed. In July 2024, the Financial Times reported that Warner Brothers Discovery was considering a plan to split its digital streaming and studio businesses from its legacy television networks. The plan would create two companies, Goodco, which would include the Max streaming business and Warner Brothers Movie Studios, and Shitco, which would include the declining linear TV networks and most or all of the company's debt. So internally, their code name for CNN while Biden was in office, which is the declining linear TV networks, which have destroyed this merger that actually took place when Biden was in office. What do they call it internally? They're calling it Shitco. They've got Goodco and they've got Shitco. So if you're Zaslav and you're someone who was responsible for this big corporate merger and you're getting paid, how much Zaslav getting paid? 20, 50, $70 million a year, and then getting all the stock where, he's, either a billionaire or on his way to becoming a billionaire, but he's getting paid massive amounts of money. They go, well, it must be because Biden did it. You merged when Biden was in office. And so I think what they're looking for is to have no guardrails at all. They think that covering the Trump circus is good for their business, that they'll get more eyeballs and more TV ratings. Frankly, I think they're wrong about that. I think most people right now are not watching CNN or not watching MSNBC or no one. I don't think people are watching TV news because we know what they've done to us all. We know how they've both sides insane washed this. We know that after the E. Jean Carroll trial where Trump was found liable for sexual assault, CNN platformed Donald Trump in front of an audience of very favorable MAGA people. All of his fans were there and allowed Donald Trump to defame E. Jean Carroll in front of everybody. We've followed all of this horrific coverage. And so, but in their own outdated mind, they think that, the circus is good for their bottom line and their business. And I'll show you this because this is from 7 years ago. This is Zaslav going on Fox 7 years ago, way before the Warner Brothers Discovery merger. This is when Zaslav was just the chair of Discovery. And watch how he talks about the ratings that Donald Trump was getting Fox. He was envious of those ratings. And he and these media companies think Trump is good for business. And also, if they were unable within a drama-free, chaos-free Biden environment, they were unable to hit the metrics that they told their shareholders they were. So now they blame Biden and enable Trump. I know that, let me show you the video of him on Fox. Let me just play this here. It's 7 years ago, to be clear, well before the merger. This was when Trump had taken office 7 years ago. Play this clip.
Yeah, obviously keep an eye on the revenues and all about the ratings. I know not too long ago in the throes of the fall presidential campaign, the great sucking sound was news and business networks like this one, getting all of those eyeballs, and less so for traditional entertainment networks like your myriad of offerings. Is that less so now? Things picked up a little bit?
People are spending a lot more time watching news networks, and it has had, look, we have 13 channels here in the U.S. We're having a great quarter, so this quarter we're up, our share is up about mid-single digits, so we're doing well. But if you look at the last year, all the political coverage and all the viewership that's moved to you, some of that has come from Discovery.
That's right.
Some of it's come from TLC. Some of it has come from Animal Planet. People are spending more time watching you.
But I was wondering, a lot of those, and just say, well, now I'm just going to slow down. I'm going to take it easy.
No, because this is what I love. It's what you love. If I get up early in the morning and I'm on the phone trying to figure out what we can push and where we're falling and where we can pick ourselves up.
President Trump, how do you think he's doing?
I think it's early. You know, I think that some of his business policies could really be helpful to America. I believe in divided government, and I think that, you know, the idea of having a Republican Congress, a Republican Senate, a Republican president is a good thing, because now they're going to get some things done. You know, before I think there was a lot of diving judging on both sides. Now they're going to have to govern, and in 2 to 4 years, people are going to say, I like what they're doing, let's bring them back, or I don't like how they're doing, let's get rid of them. That's why America's great, but it goes back and forth.
All right, David, a real pleasure seeing you again. David Zaslav, the Discovery Communications President, Chief Executive Officer. Everyone wants that guy's number.
So you hear what he's saying to Fox. He's chasing those same eyeballs, and you can tell then that that's what he was going after. This was a long description, but I think it's important that you see what's at play here. And I think we have to reflect, we the people, on the agenda of the oligarchs. And we have to recognize that the same type of oligarchy that exists in Russia, the oligarch agenda is here now. And we have to look after each other, because oligarchs have billions of dollars to spread false information to people. We have to get people accurate, honest information, regardless of political party. We got to be there for the hardworking Americans and the workers and the people who we have to get accurate news. So I hope this maybe opened your eyes a little bit to the ecosystem here. Let me know and hit subscribe, and let's get to 4 million together. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.